Hello, hello. Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today once again. Welcome. Today, we are going to delve into a topic that affects almost all of us here, whether we realize it or not. So, let's have a conversation about it. It's titled The Culture of Silence. The culture of silence. So we're going to talk about why this culture of silence exists. Why it exists. We're also going to talk about how it impacts the lives of the people who experience it. We will also address how we can break free from the power of this culture of silence, how people can break free from it so that they can be empowered to speak up. Yeah, so those are the key areas we're going to talk about today. Let me try and invite my co-hosts. My co-host is not here yet. Okay. So, first of all, we're going to talk about what the culture of silence truly means. The culture of silence, what does it mean? They say eloquence is silver and silence is golden. Yeah, that's something we hear all the time. But in today's conversation, we are not going to talk about how golden silence is. We're going to address how dangerous silence can be. We have often heard of stories of people who keep mute over issues that they should normally speak up about, issues that they should normally raise their voices about. Some of these issues take place right under our noses, in our homes, in our places of worship, in schools, in offices, and even in the hospitals where we are supposed to be taken care of. Some of these acts are perpetrated by people that we look up to, people that we look up to, yeah? And these things happen everywhere. They happen everywhere. Some of them include, well, I don't want this video to be flagged, so I will be careful in mentioning, maybe codedly, some of these acts. Some of these issues include like family issues, serious family issues, child marriage, arranged marriages, bullying, parental expectations, the R word, and then the P word. I mean, when an older person, an adult, does something bad to a child, the P word, yeah. So that as well. Before I continue, let me add my co-host. She's here now. Abby, send me a message. I can't see you. Send a message. Let me see if I can add you from the message. Maybe send a message, please. Ooh. I can't seem to see her. Okay, let me just be done with my intro. I've also messaged, I have another as well. I've also messaged him, but I haven't seen any of them yet.
I'm here.
No, not you. There's another guy too that will be joining us.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever the technical issue is, I don't know. I can't seem to understand. Is it just going to be two of us?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing to be clear. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and the last time
my face wasn't showing well.
No, not your face. Now there was a lot of background noise.
Oh, okay.
It kind of.
Is there background noise today?
No, there's none. There's none right now.
It's better.
I can't see you, AB. I can't see you. Maybe you should go out and join again. Go out and join again. Okay, yeah, I can see you now. I can see you now. I'm going to edit this video before I post it.
Everywhere.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi. Hi, Ifechi.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Good.
Ifechi, sorry, how much time do you have today?
I have just an hour.
Just an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. So let me try and start all over again so that the video can flow. Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to say that today's video we are going to delve into a topic that affects all of us in one way or the other, whether we realize it or not. Yeah. So let's have this conversation. It's going to be a conversation, and it's about the culture of silence. The culture of silence. So we'll talk about why this culture exists. We're going to dissect why this culture exists, how it impacts our lives, how it impacts people's lives, and how we can break free from the power of the culture, this culture of silence. Guys, please don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment throughout this session. Let's make this a conversation. But first and foremost, let's understand what the culture of silence truly means. The culture of silence describes the behavior of a group of people who, through an unspoken consensus, unspoken agreements, does not mention, oh, this guy is messaging me now, if I've started or not. I can't respond. Anyway, we'll carry on. If he comes in, then fine. I've sent him an alert already. So the culture of silence describes the behavior of a group of people who, through an unspoken consensus, does not mention or discuss or acknowledge certain subjects, certain subject matters. So it becomes like a norm in the family, in the village, in the society, people just stay away from talking about certain things and it becomes a norm and then you don't talk about it. They say eloquence is silver and silence is golden. But the conversation today is not going to be about how golden silence can be. It's going to be about how dangerous silence can actually be. We have often heard of stories of people keeping mute over issues that they should normally speak up about, or issues that they should raise their voice about. Some of these issues take place right under our noses, in our homes, in our places of worship, in the offices, in the schools, and even in the hospitals, like I said. Some of the acts are perpetrated by people who we hold in high esteem, people we look up to, yeah? It happens. If it happens in our places of worship, it could be by the clergyman, like the Reverend Father, doing it to the children, doing something bad to the children, yeah? Or if it happens in our homes, it could be from a parent to a child, or a spouse to the other spouse in the home, or by a neighbor, yeah? In the hospitals, it is usually, like we've seen stories of where doctors did stuff to their patients while they were, asleep, things like that. In the office, it could be from the boss to a subordinate, or from like a colleague, a senior colleague to a junior colleague. So these things happen everywhere. They happen. So what are these acts? So I was going to mention them, and I was like, okay, some of them, if we mention them by their names, the owners of the social media might decide to flag our video. So we have to code some of the words that we'll use today. Yeah, so that's one aspect. So some of these acts include family issues, like maybe child marriage, arranged marriages, the R word. I initially said the R word. We all know what the R word is. I can't say it here. And then the P word. The P word, where an adult does something to a child. The P word. We all know what it is. FGM.
Why don't you say it?
Sorry?
You should say it out, because you're also condoning the culture of silence.
No, that is because usually they flag. I don't know. Okay, maybe I can say it if they flag the video. So maybe words like, thank you for that though. Maybe words like incest, yeah, incest. Words like acts like pedophilia, acts like, oh, the other one is so difficult for me to say, the R word, because I know that I think they will flag the video if I say that one. Yeah, and then gender-based violence, where one gender attacks the other. Intimate partner violence, where two people who are intimate, one is violent towards the other. Domestic violence and abuse, where it could be from a father to the child, or even from a child to an elderly parent. All that is part of domestic violence. Infidelity, divorce. In my family, we don't divorce, so you keep mum, you don't talk about it. Illnesses, so many illnesses. Let's say mental health, people don't want to speak about it because of the stigma. Things that happen in school, workplace harassment, school harassment, injustice, bribery, corruption. Corruption self-day, but that may be too political. So, I don't corrupt. Usually, when we say corruption, bribery and corruption, we tend to think of it in the political sense, but it also happens in other spheres of our lives. The thing is, whenever we identify a problem in the society, we need to speak up. We should say that there are so many voices speaking up about these issues already, so adding your own will not make a difference. It does. It does. It can never be too much, as long as those acts are still being perpetrated. It is true that some conversations around these acts are more sensitive than others. Yeah, some are more crucial. But even in that hierarchy, we should not forget that we must speak up about all of them. No matter how we try to place them in different hierarchies, we must speak up about all of them. And we must address all these issues, yeah? In all, we need to be frank, we need to be direct, and go through the appropriate authorities, like the human rights. You can go through the human rights, you can go through the police, or the NGOs that are in charge of that particular act. So there was something I posted on the flyer, a quote. It says, it's by a certain educationist and a philosopher called Paulo Freire. He's a Brazilian. It says, the oppressed must be their own example in the struggle for their redemption. Nobody's gonna do it for you until you come up to fight for yourself. You actually have to fight for yourself. By fighting for yourself, it starts with speaking up. When you speak up, it empowers you. And then, if there's need for others to come join you in the fight, you take it from there, yeah? So I think that is the intro. That is all I'm going to do regarding the intro. So let me introduce my co-presenters who are here with me today. Here you can see our regular, my able co-host, Ike. Thank you for joining us today on this live.
Thank you, Diri. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
The next person is my dear friend, Ifechi Ume. He has been a very good friend. He's been a friend right from school as well. He's done a lot. He studied even around, he has his PhD right now. He studied, some of the studies he has done is relevant to what we are talking about today. Yeah, so we're going to hear from him when the time comes. Welcome, Ifechi Ume.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone.
So the first part we're going to talk about now is why does this culture of silence exist amongst us? Why does it exist in our homes? Why does it exist in society? Why does it exist in the communities? So I'm going to hand over to my co-hosts, my eloquent co-hosts, to do justice to the topic.
Thank you very much, Ediri. It's good to see you again. It's good to be here on this topic, the culture of silence. The culture of silence is something we have buried so deep in our society, and you just explained what the culture of silence is. Something bad is happening, people don't speak up, people don't say about it, and the culture of silence exists for a variety of reasons, based on society, based on some beliefs and all of that. But I'm just going to say a few reasons why people keep quiet. Number one, fear of repercussion. Something bad is happening, or something bad has happened, or something has happened. People don't want to talk about it because they are afraid. They are afraid that they speak about it, they may be backlashed or something else. So they just decide to keep mute and suffer in pain, or allow whatever problem it is escalate. Something that can be nipped in the bud, they allow it grow, they allow it spread because they are afraid of repercussion. Societal norms and expectations as well. The society expects that some things are not to be talked about. There are rules and regulations. Oh, you don't talk about this, you don't talk about that. And for that reason, a lot of people, even when something is going bad, that they are supposed to speak up and air their voice, they keep quiet because society will not agree with their decision to talk about it. Then there's also the fear of stigma. People are afraid to talk about things. Oh, what if I'm stigmatized because of it? Okay, maybe like somebody that has a particular sickness, the type that we are even afraid of. Like that is the time of COVID-19. A lot of people had COVID and they couldn't speak up. A lot of them went into hiding. A lot of them couldn't because they were afraid. Oh, if they do that, they'll say, this one has leprosy, this one has COVID. So they just try to keep quiet, which in essence is damaging them and damaging the society as well. There's also the lack of trust. Oh, let me not tell this person because I don't know how much this person is going to take it out. They don't have the trust of people to discuss with. So they decide to just die in silence and keep quiet. If nobody knows about what's happening to me, nobody will talk about it. So I contain it, I keep it to myself, and life goes bad for them. There is also the fear of alienation. Oh, in some culture, in some traditions, if you say some things, oh, you'll be ostracized. Don't say it to keep our community safe. Don't say it to keep the family secret. Don't say it for one reason or the other. So they just decide to keep quiet. Then a lot of people also avoid conflict. A lot of people for avoidance of conflict. Oh, I don't want confrontation. I don't want to speak up on this issue to this person because I don't like confrontation. This person is going to be angry or something will just go bad. So they keep silent, and in keeping silent, things are going bad. They are dying. They are dying. When if you speak up, a solution to that problem can be addressed. A solution to that problem can be gotten, but they decide to keep quiet and make matters worse. I think these are a few of the reasons why people decide to imbibe the culture of silence. If you have more, you can add to it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing justice to that. I think basically you have touched on everything, but if Dr. Ifechi, that's how I want to be addressing you going forward.
Yes. That, in fact, that is his title. That's
so, Dr. Ifechi, based on what she has said, if there's anything you want to add to that first, before we go over to how we can break free from the power of the culture of silence, or before we go over to how does the culture of silence impacts our lives, before we go into all that, please say whatever it is you can say.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I think what AB and Edri have said, they've already elaborated on a lot of things. But we first of all need to understand culture. Culture is the lifeblood of every vibrant society. So with that, the way we celebrate, the way we do our things, the way we dress, the way we build our houses, the way we socialize, all those fall into culture. And culture plays a very big role, both in our workplace and in our individual lives. So when you come to the topic, the culture of silence, if you define culture as the way of life of people, Silence is a state that has different stages. So silence means a period where you do not utter or speak or stay calm for a certain period of time. Silence can be a pause, silence can be for thoughts, silence can be for anything. So in different cultures, silence means many things. So in China and Mexico, where they have hierarchical cultures, when they keep silent, it's a sign of respect. In some societies like Nigeria and Europe and America and Europe, when you keep silence, even just for 2 seconds, is deemed as an insult or as a slight. So, but when you come to the general topic we're discussing about, which is the culture of silence, we are looking at the things that the society would just purposely on purpose. They don't want to attend to those things, like subjects they don't want to discuss, like a three mentioned. And that culture of silence has a lot of implications for people living in the society. So the issues that we are going to address with the culture of silence is unspoken. And remember, culture can be learned, culture can be communicated, culture can be passed on from generation to generation. So they are unspoken things, but which has now become a norm for the people to follow. So when you find yourself inside the culture, it becomes a very big challenging stuff to be able to break out of it. But in order for you to be able to survive in a society where they encourage culture of silence, because the culture of silence brings oppression and is either perpetrated by the whole lot of people or by a segment of people, such as what we see today in different societies. In other crimes, you have people that group of individuals who control the economy. In some areas, you have group of people, maybe politicians, who control the economy, and they hold others to task. And those people are afraid to react because of the consequences. And like AB mentioned, the fear of the repercussion that makes that culture of silence to exist. So with this, I think that every one of us understands what we are talking about in terms of what is the culture of silence. And now, for me to go ahead to say, these are some of the ways we can address the culture of silence based off the impacts that it brings to us as a people, individuals, communities, societies. One, I always advocate for good orientation of the people. How do we make progress in the society when everybody keeps silent in the face of issues happening? Like Ediri mentioned, there are so many vices that are happening and people don't want to talk about it. Either because it's going to cause harm, it's going to cause societal ostracization from the community of people where you are. And remember, most every human being has a hierarchy of needs, and those hierarchy of needs all come together with a very strong attribute, which is called socialization. People want to socialize. People want to be in a group. People want to be loved. People want to associate with each other. And that is a core part of culture. So when people see things going wrong and they do not want to say it, it's all because there's going to be a repercussion or it's going to be a societal norm. So in order to break out from that is to begin to speak up. Go back to your thoughts. Sit down, because sometimes when you're also silent as an individual, not even speaking out, it triggers your brain to kind of make you self-aware of where you are, and also make you to think about a way forward. So the implications of this culture of silence can only be broken like a dream mentioned, from the person who is in it. So speaking of having educational training on understanding cultures and the implication of cultures on human existence is also key. But for the day-to-day activities or day-to-day happenings in our society, you will see a situation whereby some cultures are already originated to ostracize or offend a certain set of people, either a gender or a group of people. Like initially in the back in the days, some women are not allowed to eat egg because they say when the woman eats egg, that she will be able to she will not be satisfied, or she will like to do things that are not normal. But that was just a ploy because the tradition, the men didn't have enough money to cater for everybody, so they limited giving eggs to women. So sometimes too in the houses where you have people, they tell you that the woman will not eat the head of the cock, that he has to eat the tail. All those are just gimmicks. So, but with the trend going on in the world right now, with people being more aware, I think one of the best solutions would be speaking up, forming groups to challenge the status quo, not minding what will happen. And we've seen this happening in different climes. So today we have advancement in technology. All these are all part of breaking the culture of silence. We have today um, children being responsible in their own rights, making decisions that affect their lives. Unlike before, when parents would decide what their children will read in school without minding the capabilities of the kids. But now, there's an orientation and people are beginning to change that culture. So basically what I feel is speaking up for yourself, changing the status quo by societal shifts, because culture is also dynamic. It's also one of the attributes of culture. When you see this culture is not making a progress and people are dying from the culture, that culture has to be changed. Discussions have to be done to be able to change culture. So basically, this is where I'm coming from, and this is what I think about the implications of culture and ways that I feel that culture of silence can be broken. That's my own contribution. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so. Would there be anything you want to add? It's really disturbing that the other guy who was supposed to address how the culture of silence impacts our lives is not here. He's here actually, but I don't know. I'm not able to add him. I've sent the request to him, but he doesn't use Facebook often, so I don't know. He's not able to join. I don't know. It's kind of disappointing. I don't know what to do. Anyway, so I would want us, since he's not here, we will not leave that aspect vacant. We'll just see what we can do to address how the culture of silence impacts our lives. It can have a profound and detrimental effect or impact on our lives. So there are some key points I'm going to list, and then maybe we can just address them by citing concrete examples. I'm sure that will be easy for us to do. So, for instance, mental health, the culture of silence around mental health. How does it affect us? If somebody is going through mental health issues and they don't speak up, it is going to prevent them from, not speaking up will prevent them from seeking help and discussing their struggles, right? So this may lead to the condition being untreated, and if the condition is not untreated, the symptoms will worsen and the suffering will increase. Do you understand? So that is how the culture of silence can affect someone who is suffering from, let's say, mental health. And a lot of things can cause mental health. Most of us, most people in the world have a little bit of mental health disorder. You know, there's a spectrum, there's a range. People suffer from mental health in various ways. Yeah. So that is that. I will also want us to talk about in strained relationships. How does the culture of silence impact people in strained relationships? Let's give an instance of a family, because my lives are basically about family life, right? So let's talk about the family. When there is strained relationship, lack of communication, how does this misunderstandings, all those things coming, how do they impact our lives when we don't talk about these things? When you have strained relationship, there's misunderstanding in the family, and you don't talk about them, you don't address them, you keep mum, how do they affect the family? Any of you who wants to talk about it can go ahead. Or should I say AB? Okay, maybe you take that, my co-host.
In the case of family feud, how the culture of silence. Expectantly, people you don't go out telling everybody that we have a family feud or there's a problem. But in talking about it also, it brings solution. It brings at least it resolves it to a large extent. So when you don't talk about it, the problem lingers. The problem lingers.
Yes.
So it's
about it. They're talking about, we are not saying take the family. It depends. Like I had said earlier on, there are different degrees of these acts, that happen, that the degrees that would determine where you would go and address this issue, right? So let's take, for instance, there is the family feud, like you just said now. If there is a feud in the home, everybody keeps quiet, then what? It's going to affect I mean, if you can also talk about that.
Somebody has to break the silence.
Yes.
Okay, so
we don't have to. If there is a feud in the home, if there is an issue to be addressed in the home, people should not keep quiet. In the family. We are not saying take that out now. That's not
yes.
If some of the issues, there are things that you can even address yourself. For instance, if you're raped by a neighbor, it is something you can address. Gather your evidence, go to the police, deal with it, yeah? But if you're too weak mentally and you cannot, I'm just saying that some of these issues, we can deal with them ourselves, we can deal with them within the family, we can deal with that at the police station, we can deal with that by seeking the help of NGOs, like that. That's what I'm trying to say. So for the family, what do you have to add?
Okay, so let me address your first topic. You have mental health. Mental health comes in different ranges. There are people that do not understand where they are, and they are in a state of denial. They don't know what's going on with them. That's what is, someone who has already doesn't have control. He requires medical attention and all that to be healed. Then there are some mental health that comes from depression, life struggles and all that. So basically, if somebody cannot speak out during mental health, people around, around him or her should encourage the person to, engage the person in conversation, try to find out what is going on with the person, and take the person to get help. But because of the culture of silence, like, oh, I don't want to go and tell anybody so that they would know our brother or our sister or our father or mother, anybody is mad, then they keep quiet and the situation gets worse and they keep on managing the person, hiding the person inside the house, just for people not to know that the person is crazy. When the person does something bad, they say, no, that's his way of life. But so we need to break out from that by, being our brother's keeper, looking out for our brother, looking out for our sisters, looking out for our parents, looking out for our kids, to be able to give them solution to move forward. Then when it comes to in terms of a family, if there are issues in the family, this ranges depending on the maturity or the experience of the parties involved. There are some people who cannot resolve issues without talking to other people outside their own relationship. So it depends on who is involved. So it's a very complex one, if I would say, to address in terms of the culture of silence. But the culture of silence comes when there is always an extended family involved. Because there are some families, either a man or a woman is married into. Before you can resolve a problem between you and your spouse, you must escalate it in terms of hierarchy to a different level. Either you are reporting to the lady's mom or dad before the lady will calm down and resolve the issues resolved, or you are reporting to your own people. Some people are their elder sisters, are their go-between. So they go between their wife and their wife and themselves. They are the elder sister will be the arbiter. She will be in her own husband's house and be governing the brother's house, or she'll be in her own husband's house and governing the sister's house. So basically, I think what we discussed in our previous topics, communication is key, timing is key, understanding is key, and selflessness is also key. But breaking the culture of silence will mean having frank discussions and airing your opinion, bringing up to fore, making it known your grievance, either to your spouse or to your spouse's family or to whoever is somebody who you feel can resolve your issues by both of you agreed. Because I believe that when two people come together to become a couple, they should also work together to provide solutions. Though human beings are difficult, so managing human beings is the hardest thing anybody can do. But when it comes to this culture of silence, there's nothing you can do other than speaking up to be able to solve the issue. Because look at different homes. A man says my kids will go to private school. The wife is looking at, yes, the kids will go to private school, but we are paying all our money in private school. These kids are not learning anything. But the man has the ego, oh, my kids are going to private school. But people that are going to public schools are still getting good education, doing well because they are facing competition. But they go to private school where everybody will pass every semester, everybody will be giving good results just to make sure the parents are paying the bill. So such a situation, when the woman in the house keeps silent or the man in the house keeps silent, that will cause a problem. So I think breaking the culture of silence is only very right for any party involved or parties are involved, either the observers or the perpetrators or everybody, to be able to speak up. When they're able to speak up, then issues can be solved. So I think speaking up is speaking up and changing ways and challenging the status quo will be providable solutions to solving the culture of silence and its implications and impact on our lives.
All right. Then I'll also. Okay. Do you want to say something?
No, I'm just going to say, I don't know what is a question I want to ask or it's a contribution, but I just want to state that breaking the culture of silence most times can be very difficult because you don't even know a situation where as a mother or as a woman, you found out that your husband molested your child, your girl child. and maybe your daughter, it even took a while for your daughter to speak up to you about it. How do you address your husband? Do you jump discussing it with your husband and going straight to the authorities to say this is what he did to me? And in doing that,
did you say harass or molest? Which one?
Molested.
Whichever,
yes.
right? Whichever. I think that is so deep that, I mean, what do you want to discuss? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? Is to go to the authorities. What do you want to talk about? What is there to talk about?
The issue of molestation means that the man is mentally deranged.
Yes.
Because I don't think that any right-thinking man would be able to molest even a relation, even someone. Then talk less of your own child. That is insane.
But you know,
And
we've heard these stories before now. We've heard these stories. We've read about them, even though
yeah,
we've not.
but that's insane. That means the man is sick and needs to get mental treatment and needs to be, taken away from that environment.
Exactly.
And put in
So
a cooler.
that is where fear comes in, because the woman thinks that, oh, if I speak up, this marriage is going to end.
Over.
This marriage is over. The provisions the man gives me will no longer be available. So they just keep quiet and maintain the secret among themselves.
Yes, but
between themselves.
There is that they should speak up, and when they speak up, there are organizations that are out there. It is because most people don't know that there is even help out there. Even if this kind of thing should happen to somebody and we do a fundraiser, the person should be able to start their life afresh. There are a lot of people out there that are helping people like this, but they don't know. It's because they don't know, and that is why we should all come out and raise our voices that there is help out there. It's just for you to get the right information, to go to the right place for the help. There is help out there.
Yes.
So
speaking up,
afraid.
Speaking up most times does a lot of, is it harm or something to the person? Okay, let me use an example of during the COVID era. I went to the office and I told my colleagues that I know somebody that was diagnosed of COVID. I just said that as an information. Believe me, for that period, the whole of my colleagues avoided me. If I'm coming this way, they'll run. Because they took it to mean that, oh, for me to say I know somebody that has COVID or that had COVID means
you have had contact with the person.
Do you understand? So it took me, I was kind of alienated. I was always sitting on my own. They want to breathe, they just wave their hands. At first, I didn't understand the logic. I didn't understand it. But afterwards, I said, why is this person avoiding me? Why? They said, maybe, you have COVID though, so we should stay clear. Fine. In my mind, I was happy. At least there was that awareness. That, yes, oh, when somebody has this, there should be isolation and all of that. So people were trying to do the face mask thing and all of that they were not doing before. It was a good thing, but how was the person feeling at that point? I didn't say I have COVID. I said I know somebody that has, and it took a while for me to get out of that place. I found myself. So most times, talking about things, most times,
No. When you spoke about it, the reaction, maybe you felt the way you felt because the awareness was not really much then. I'm sure it was in the beginning of COVID that happened. But when everybody was aware that, this thing is really highly infectious, nobody blamed anybody for not coming to see them or for not sitting close to them or for not, even husband that has COVID self go sleep for separate room, wife go sleep for it happened now.
Yes.
So that's why we're talking about awareness. Once people have the awareness that this thing, we can talk about it. Let's make it normal. You know, it's not out of place to speak about things like this. That way, people can begin to seek help and get help.
Yeah.
And they're directed to where help can be found. Yeah. So there, you know, some of these challenges can also happen in the workplace. For example, if there's an unethical behavior from a boss to a subordinate in the office, how do you speak up about it so you don't lose your job? Or you want to speak about it and have your job put on the line? You know, what we are encouraging people today is to speak up. So let's address that now, because people are actually being harassed and molested in their offices. It happens. So when that happens, how do they go about it? How do they go about it?
So there are different in different climes, like in different climes there are different ways to address those issues. You have an ethics line where you call, and is an ombuds also have an ombudsman line, which is like somebody who is not part of the company. They are mandated by the board of the company or to address such issues. But whereby the perpetrator is the owner of the company, what do you do? So you are caught between going on your own charade, and it's going to be your word against their word. So when such issues start happening or try to happen, you have to try and start doing documentation. But it's not when you become a party to it. After then, when it goes south, that's when you start complaining. So, but once you see such a thing happening, then all you need to do is address it right there. Because if you tell somebody who is trying to, especially if you are powerless, but if you tell somebody who is trying to molest you, stop, I don't like it. I think most times, 70% out of the 100, the people will back off.
Mm-hmm.
But when you give signal and you allow that to happen, you can start by somebody patting
What
you
if it,
behind. And
what
it
if
will,
it's sudden? What if it's sudden? They just come on you suddenly.
okay, so when if such a situation happens whereby you're powerless, you're not able to do anything, and the situation has occurred, then all you need to do is gather your evidence and go to the authorities and report the matter.
And
And that's the best way to address it. Work is because of the challenges we have as a people, as a society. That is why the culture of silence is winning. But when you see areas and activities whereby you have uh, something, people working, laws working, you see that these things don't happen.
yeah.
I can give you, I can give you a typical example that happened to me. A lady who is my professor told me, change is, I'll change is to what? When I bring it back, she'll tell me, no, you should have kept that words back. So what did I do? I did a change matrix of whatever she said I should change when she returned my document. I now did, this is the things you asked me to change, this is the things I changed. And with that change matrix, when I sent it back to her, she didn't know that I had already given my direct chairman, my committee chairman, the change matrix. And I was giving my committee chairman the change matrix, just giving her only the final document because she said she wanted only the tracking on it. This lady rejected me 3 times. And when she did that 3 times, what did I do? I called on the program director. I called on the student union advisor. The student advisor told me, no, you have to pass through protocol. I told her, no, I'm not going to pass through protocol. I went straight to the program director. Within 2 days, that woman was removed from my committee. In the next 6 months, I graduated. So you have to fight. You have to fight. So issues like that, if I had a culture of silence where they said, once you're a PhD student, you cannot complain. If you complain, they'll keep you there more. That I did not do. That I spoke up. And you know what? My committee chairman supported me in defending me, and because I had been giving him all the scenarios. So before the woman could say Jack Robinson, she was surprised they removed her from my committee. And that is something that has never happened in the school. So because of that, subsequently, other people coming behind me were not benefited from that, because now every lecturer became afraid that they could be changed from the committee because they never saw it happen before. So the culture of silence can keep you down. So you have to push forward. There are situations that have happened in offices that I've been in where some bosses are trying to molest women to be, if they don't sleep with them, they can't give them promotion. Those women most women gathered enough evidences, either through their talk and everything. They report them. Before you know what's happening, the person is fired. One happened, which I witnessed. A lady went and hired the boyfriend in the office, and they were busy, behaving like husband and wife in the office, and information leaked out. The management fired two of them at the same time. So it's not an encouraged behavior over here for any reason. So that's the issue. So you have to speak up. And the work is not the end of your life. What I always advise people is be yourself. Let people know you for who you are. I don't want to answer Ifechi Shell, Ifechi Total, Ifechi wherever. I don't want to answer those names. I want to answer my name. It's Ifechi. I want to answer my name Ediri. I want to answer my name Abi. So that anytime they see you and call you, that's what they know you for. So do not tie your life to any job. Define yourself as a human being. Stand for what you stand for. Stand for integrity. Nobody will die for it. Let me tell you today, no matter what is happening to you, no matter what you're doing, if I'm going to preach like a pastor, let me preach like a pastor now. Life goes on. Life must go on. If during COVID, people stayed at home for almost 3, 4, 5, 6 months, nobody died. Everybody went ahead. So let that job, because of a job, let the person molest you, either a man or a woman, because it's two-way. Women are not the only ones molested. Men are also molested. Men are also harassed. So, but speak up when those things happen and take action.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
I'll be leaving. My break time is over. Okay. So I'll join you guys on the next one. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice evening.
Thank you so much.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. Okay. Bye.
I was going to ask him that question. I was going to ask him because he talked about culture as the way of life for a group of people. Are we going to, because we want to overcome the culture of silence, are we going to break cultural values and beliefs? Okay, like in some culture, or in some communities, there's a particular snake they don't kill, and you go there and you see the snake, because if you kill the snake, you're going to bury that snake as a human being, and you're a poor man in that community. You see the snake, maybe you don't even know you're not supposed to kill it, you kill it. You will not be able to say you killed that snake.
Okay. Let me come in there. The culture of silence you're discussing today is about ills, acts perpetrated by one on a fellow human being, by one human being on a fellow human being, right? So that's the angle we are looking at it from.
Okay.
You understand? That's the angle we are looking at. So if a human being perpetrates an act against another human being, should he keep quiet? Should he be silent? Or he should speak up so that act will not be committed again. Because usually, if you keep quiet for that one, the next time it's going to be more. And it will not just be one person, it will spread. Yeah, it has a tendency to spread from where it began to point B, you know. So that is why we should speak up.
That is why we should speak
Yes,
up.
so this your snake example, I think, is a bit different.
Okay.
I think that has to do with cultural beliefs and things like that.
Yes,
so,
because we talked about it. We talked about cultural beliefs and values as part of the reason why people don't speak up. Because this is the culture of the people. Yes, this is the culture, and because they want to keep that culture, they keep dying in silence. The truth of the matter is, in terms of this, whether you talk about it or you don't talk about it, there's a reason. There's a consequence. If you talk about it, you die. If you don't talk about it, you die. So what do? At the end of the day, you still have to talk about it.
I am an advocate of speaking up. So
yes.
If something bad is happening somewhere, if you see something, say something. You know, exactly. If you see something, say something to stop it from going forward, to stop it from mushrooming, you know, to stop it from becoming hydra-headed, you know.
So you also speak up. You also speak up on behalf of people. Yes. You speak up on behalf of people. There is the law of commission and the law of omission. The law of commission is, okay, they say you throw a man into the river to drown. Then the law of omission, you see that man drowning and you refuse to bring him out. So for us to avoid those kind of this thing, we have to come in for people. Somebody does not want to talk about it. You talk about it for the person. You talk about it for the person because you're saving that person, saving yourself, and saving the entire people. So the bottom line for this is always picking up.
Okay, let me give another example now. For a child, for instance, that is in school, that is being bullied and is being cowed not to speak by the bully, how will that child know that they have to speak up? How will they know that they have to speak up? So I will give my answer this way. For parents or for adults that are watching, that are hearing of these things, please enlighten your children. Enlighten them that when they are bullied or whatever happens to them, they should speak up. I'm sure in the schools too these days they have departments that handle such things. They always address the school, or when you see something, say something, you know, it's on like that. So that is how I will address that. That is how we address, because you know, like, I don't know if you were the one or if that was talking about a father molesting a child. Were you the one that talked about it? Father molesting their child.
Yes.
So you have a child, a daughter, and you started molesting her from when she was a baby. She will grow up knowing that you do that to her. She will just be used to it, right? But the only way she will know that what you're doing to her is bad, maybe when she becomes a teenager, she might begin to know, she might begin to have a sense of like, okay, what this person is doing to me, what my daddy is doing to me is bad. Yeah, she might have that, but the main reason why she will quickly know about it and get out of it is if she hears people talk about things like this outside. Because in the family, it is normal. But when she goes outside, she hears about how bad such things are, you know, she hears about people talking against such things. That is where she will come to realization, okay, so this thing that is happening to me is bad. Yeah. So a lot of people don't have awareness. They don't. Kids inclusive, right? A lot of people don't have awareness. So whatever we're doing today is still to add our voices to the voices of people who are already out there campaigning, that when you hear of things like this, when you see things like this, speak up. Do what you can to stop it from progressing. Yeah. So that would be my contribution in that aspect. I think we've done like an hour. I don't know if there's any area we didn't cover, but if things like this are happening and you feel too weak to fight for yourself, speak to someone. Always have somebody to speak to. Speak to someone. Speak to someone. Engage the relevant authorities or the relevant organizations, you know, and they take it from there. Usually people are ready to fight for you. There's a lot even happening on the internet now, yeah? Well, I don't really want to go into that, but the guy is dead, but people are out there fighting for justice. Do you understand? People are out there fighting for justice. So things like that happen. People are there to fight for you. Pick your cause. People have different areas that they can fight for people. Yeah, you cannot fight all the battles. So pick one cause or pick two causes. Pick whatever interests you and focus on that one and fight that fight. So yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't have our other guest that was supposed to speak today, but I'm sure he will join us next time when he's done figuring out how Facebook works, because he's not always on the Facebook ecosystem like that. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to say before we end the live today? Because I'm ready to run off.
You're ready to
run?
Oh no, I think we've said it all. We like you said, we are encouraging people to speak up, no matter what it is. Just try and speak up. Forget about the fear of repercussion. Forget about the stigmatization. Forget that I am powerless. This person is in a position of authority. If I speak up, particularly in cases of job scenarios, I may be sacked and all of that. Just speak up, do the right thing. And doing the right thing is speaking up to create that awareness, let people know. And we are also telling people that there are authorities that can handle any case that is on hand. Authorities are there, people, organizations, and NGOs are there. So you don't have to die in silence. You just have to speak up. Even if you have leprosy, God forbid, and they say people like that are isolated. At the end of the day, you're doing society a service, because if leprosy is a contaminable disease, you're trying to safeguard the other people's health. So let's not see it as we are bearing it alone. Let's try and reach out and then speak up. Thank you very much, Ediri.
I want to add something. You know, there's another story also that broke, I think, sometime last week, about a university dean, a particular university, I think University of, that was taking advantage of his students.
Yeah.
They came out en masse. You know, amongst all those people that came out, don't think that all of them agreed to come out in the beginning. Not all of them agreed to come out in the beginning. I can say that. But because the majority of people, the majority of people that wanted to come out were overwhelmed the voices that were like saying, oh no, please, let's not do this, let's not do it. It's it's going to affect our grades, it's going to affect our school year. The voices that wanted to speak up were more. And at the end of the day, they spoke up, and the whole story went viral. Even as it went viral, a certain minister still came out to threaten those girls. Yeah? Maybe to withdraw the case or whatever. I didn't bother reading the story. But a certain minister came out to cower them. But eventually, more voices came out, And this Minister of Women's Affairs, Minister of Women's
Yeah.
Affairs, he had to now apologize. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if when she came out, they just all went into their shell, that man in bone goes strong more to do more.
Yeah.
And encourage more people to around him. Of course, the story went viral. That is how everybody too who have tendency to do such things will begin to say, okay, I've always wanted to do this thing, let me do it. After all, there's no justice for them, you know. But with the way it has happened now, I'm sure, I hope that at the end of the day, justice will be served. So thank you so much, my co-hosts, for always coming through. I think we've done well tonight. We will see what we'll do next time in our next live. I'll chat you up and then
All right. No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You
And
take care. Bye.
if for joining us, thank you for my guest that couldn't come. He made effort to come, but he couldn't make it. I hope to see him. We hope to see you next time. Take care, guys. And thank you
All right. Take care.
to join us to watch. Thank you. Always come around and please request to join. If you have anything to say, comment. If you have anything to say, you can join us and come on the live and
You should have him back.
No, he said that before. He said that
Okay.
before.
Okay.
Not now.
All right.
He's not on the live again. He's gone.
Okay.
All right then.
All
Take care.
right.
Nice to see you again. Hoping to see you again. Sorry.
Again, yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.